Geometry is defined as the branch of mathematics that deals with the deduction of the properties, measurements, and relationships of points, lines, angles, and figures in space, and their defining position by means of certain assumed properties in space. It's basically one of those things you call Geometry is used by engineers, carpenters, land surveyors, astronomers, and the list goes on. As brave and perceived as simple it is to the everyday high school student, geometry is a key element in some of the things we see every day out there in the world. Without it, we wouldn't have the pleasure of the Great Pyramid of Giza in Egypt, the Eiffel Tower, or even the structure of a home sweet home. Now, before we go crazy and start doing equations and all, let's visit Miss Smith's class and learn about geometric angles. Okay class, let's go through some flashcards and learn about angles. Okay, does anyone know what this angle is? It's an acute angle. This angle must be greater than 0 degrees, but must be smaller than 90 degrees. Isn't it cute? Now, there is an angle that has to be greater than 90 degrees, but must be smaller than 180 degrees. This angle is called an obtuse angle. Now, has anyone heard about an angle called a right angle? It's an angle that is exactly 90 degrees. You can tell it's an angle, this angle is 90 degrees when there's a little box right on the angle. An angle is only 90 degrees when this box is present. Now this is where things get a little tricky class, so pay attention. Do you know what they call an angle that is greater than 180 degrees, that has to be smaller than 360 degrees? This angle is called a reflex angle. Boy, this is angle flex. This next angle is called a complementary angle. It is composed of two angles that add up to 90 degrees. Did you know a straight line is an angle too? A line is called a straight angle. It is 180 degrees. Next in line is an angle we call supplementary. It consists of two angles that add up to 180 degrees. Now, there is an angle that's called angles on the line. All angles on the line must add together to equal 180 degrees. Now, another simply named angle is called angles on a point. All angles on the point must add together to equal 360 degrees. Vertically opposite angles, this definition is in the name. The angle that is vertically opposite from the other angles are equal. Things about to get tricky class, but pay attention. We are going to be talking about several rules. This first rule is called vertically opposite, aka the X rule. In this rule, vertically opposite angles are equal. If this only applies, then the arrows on both lines indicate that they are parallel to each other. The next rule is called corresponding angles, otherwise known as the F rule. In this rule, if the lines are parallel, the angles on the bottom of each horizontal line of the F are equal. So if we look here, we see an F right here. 4 and 8 are going to be the same angles. And if you look at it in a different way, this is also an upside down F, making 6 and 2 equal as well. Next up is alternate interior, probably known as the Z rule. Look for the Z, if you can see it, and the horizontal lines are parallel, indicated by the little arrowhead. The opposite corners are equal. So if we can look here, there's a Z, kind of funny Z looking thing here. So 3 and 6 are the same. And you can see an backwards Z, so this is 4 and 5 are the same. Last but not least, we have the longest named angle ever. Interior angles on the same side of the transversal. Can anyone repeat that? Also simply known as the C rule. In this rule, if the horizontal lines are parallel, the angles in the C add up to 180 degrees. So if we look here, we can see two different C's. So if the little parallel arrows right here, that would mean 3 and 5, if you add them together, it would equal 180. And same with if you add 4 and 6, this would also equal 180. In class, look at this question here. Can anyone see the Z rule in it? If you look right here, you can tell there's two parallel lines with the little arrows. This is the Z rule. Because this angle is 24 degrees, this makes the angle on question number 2 24 degrees as well. Can you see anything else? Well, if you look here, there's also a huge big Z rule. So if you find and eventually find out what 5 is, you'll know what 7 is. And can anyone else find any other rules? Well, class, if you look here and here, there are two big Z rules. If you find the sum is 3 and 2, you'll be able to add that, minus 180 from that, and you'll get 1. Since this is 58, this must mean that the rest of the 180 chunk is 4 and 7. But what is it? You find out. Well, class, there you have it. Hope you understand and enjoyed today's lesson. This is lesson on mental math. Thanks, Mrs. Smith. That was great. But then we're gonna go take a nap.